Incredible revelation, Black CEO discovers strength after shocking wine incident, ends 2.4B deal. The atmosphere in the lavish ballroom of the downtown Chicago gala was electric. Laughter echoed like music, and the glasses shimmered, reflecting the golden hues of fine wine. Nathan Carter, the successful CEO of a burgeoning wine company, stood at the epicenter of it all. His heart raced not just from excitement but anticipation. Tonight, he was poised to seal a deal that could elevate him to monumental success, a $2.4 billion partnership with one of the world's most prestigious investors. But just as the evening sparkled with possibility, disaster struck. A chaotic splash interrupted the upbeat chatter, stealing Nathan's attention. A guest, clumsy and careless, knocked over a glass, sending a stream of Merlot cascading down the crisp white tablecloth. Gasps rippled through the crowd, but it was the slicing sound of whispers that cut deeper. Nathan felt the world shift. It was as if the laughter turned to a sinister undertone, filled with judgment and prejudice. Eyes darted his way, suspicion clouding the air, and he sensed the shift in energy. As if twirling on a carousel of emotions, he battled the tightness in his chest, each glance like an accusation. Was this not just a simple spill, but a prelude to something darker? Then the familiar face of a childhood friend emerged from the crowd, Saida, her warm smile a beacon in the escalating storm. "You've come so far, Nathan," she whispered, a gentle reminder of his roots, reminding him of their neighborhood where dreams were forged through struggle. Nathan's mind flashed back to his mother's sacrifices, her steadfast belief in his potential, and his father's face, hardened by disappointment in ever understanding this journey that was entirely his own. "Hey, before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let us continue." Nathan took a deep breath, the moment now swelling beyond just the spilled wine. He was not just a Black CEO in a prestigious gala, he was standing on the brink of redefining the narrative, his story, his identity, their collective struggle against prejudice. Voices rose, murmurs igniting all around him, support clashing with hostility. Frustration bubbled within Nathan, transforming into a need to raise his voice against the quiet injustice spiraling around him. "I refuse to let this moment define me," he boldly declared. Silence fell like a fog as he faced the crowd. What just happened may be brushed off as clumsiness, but it exposes an ugly truth about who we really are. Each word thundered through the room, breaking the cycle of tension. As people's expressions shifted, a kaleidoscope of support and disdain, Nathan felt more than just the weight of the eyes on him. He felt the looming shadows of his father, the expectation carved from a different era, the dreams they both chased, the American dream that seemed a little different today. Would his voice matter? Would it mend the rift with his father while forging a path for himself? As his heart pounded, Nathan realized he stood not just for his future but for the hopes of others. The crowd held its breath, and in that stillness, he saw a glimmer of strength. The evening had transformed before his eyes. The climax of the night was merely the beginning. The questions lingered heavy in the air: would he risk everything for justice? Would today be the day Nathan would not just make a deal, but make a stand? The ballroom felt alive, buzzing with an energy that crackled like a live wire. Nathan could sense it, the shift was palpable. Whispers morphed into murmurs, and yet, in that moment of intangible silence, he sought the resolve within himself. He could feel Saida's presence steadying him, a reminder that vulnerability in the face of adversity was not weakness but a form of strength. As the crowd began to respond, a ripple of applause broke out, clashing against the tension. It grew, igniting pockets of solidarity among attendees he had never expected to support him. Among them, he caught the eyes of a prominent investor who had come to admire his rise, a woman whose fears about racism were often tucked away behind the wealth she commanded. But tonight, they were all witnesses to something larger than themselves. Nathan stepped forward, gripping the edge of the podium with renewed focus. "This moment isn't just mine," he continued, his voice gaining momentum. "It's for every person who has been judged not for their character or capability but for the color of their skin. We cannot allow a single misstep, a spilled drink, to divert our course. We have too many dreams at stake." With every word, he felt a rush of adrenaline, transforming the nerves clawing at his insides into an invigorating fire. The murmurs of support swelled, igniting a wave that washed over the assembled crowd. Some began to nod in agreement, others raising their glasses, echoing his sentiment. But then, amid the rising applause, two figures moved through the crowd: Nathan's father and his business partner, Sam. Both appeared conflicted, their faces lined with unease. Nathan's heart dipped as he locked eyes with his father, who looked as if he wanted to retract to the shadows. The man who once so often molded Nathan's dreams now seemed unbearably distant. "Dad," Nathan called, voice tinged with uncertainty. "I need you here. I need you to see the difference we can make." The audience turned to Nathan's father, whose hesitancy spoke volumes. In that gaze, Nathan felt years of unspoken tension, of striving for validation that had never quite been granted. He could see the walls erecting themselves again, yet something in him refused to back down. "Your approval shouldn't rest on my accomplishments, Dad," Nathan continued, heart racing. "The world around us is changing, and it's time we change with it. Stand beside me, not just in my success, but in this fight for equity." His father hesitated, as if the weight of generations sat heavy upon his shoulders. Nathan's words curled like tendrils, seeking to wrap around that weight, to pull it into the air and free it of its burden. "I can't succeed alone," Nathan said, looking not just at his father but at the entire audience. He gestured widely, yearning for unity. "If we want change, we must fight together." The applause transformed into cheers, bold, liberating. People began to stand, their energy transcending mere visualization of support. It was as if Nathan had sparked something dormant within the heart of the crowd. The roar was intoxicating, lifting him higher, yet, amid this exhilaration, Nathan's heart clenched as he caught Sam's wary gaze. The partner who had always stood by him was now swept up in doubt, and Nathan sensed his allegiance wavering on the precipice of shame and loyalty. Was making this stand worth the price? As Nathan's eyes flicked back to the presenter's notes, his heart raced with questions. Would his courage dissipate the lifelong bond with family and friends, or strengthen them? The night had unfolded as a tempest, full of hope and possibility. In this moment of revelation, Nathan was not just fighting for a partnership, he was reclaiming his narrative. But would the stakes of this newfound strength unravel the threads that had held him together for so long? The ballroom dimmed as Nathan awaited the next response, every passion-filled glance deepening the air with unspoken questions. What would his father choose as a pivotal moment was about to unfold? The applause swelled, blossoming like a flower reaching for the sun, but Nathan could feel a storm brewing within him. His father remained frozen, a statue in the midst of this beautiful chaos. Sam stood close by, his expression a mix of confusion and apprehension. How had it come to this? Just moments ago, it felt like they shared a united front, yet now that unity seemed fragile and threatened by fear. "Dad, please." Nathan's voice sliced through the applause. "I'm asking you to trust me. Trust us. Together, we can create something incredible." Eyes were on them, some wide in support, others narrow with scrutiny. Nathan scanned the crowd, taking in their anticipation. He could see their breath held, waiting for a resolution. The energy hung heavy, like the moments before a thunderstorm unleashes its rain. I just don't want you to fail," his father finally murmured, his voice barely rising above the crowd. It was small, vulnerable, as if confessing a secret, a weighty concern that echoed years of expectation. "Failure is a part of growth," Nathan responded, finding his footing, pulling from a well of hope that felt deeper than the fears around him. And failure isn't the end, Dad. It's a chance to rise stronger. Look at this crowd. Look at what we can bring together. The faces around them glimmered with encouragement. One guest raised a hand, a woman Nathan had been mentoring. "We're ready, Nathan. We believe in you." Her enthusiasm sparked the others again, igniting a wave of sound that traveled like wildfire through the ballroom, but perhaps it was Sam's silence that gnawed at Nathan the most. The man had always been his rock, the one pushing him to take chances. Now, he was a question mark, uncertain and reserved. It felt like betrayal loomed in the air, a quiet specter ready to strip away everything he had worked for. "Sam," Nathan called, shifting focus. "What do you think? This matters to you too." The request was desperate, words bursting forth. "We've built this together. Stand with us." The partner's eyes flicked between Nathan and his father, weighing loyalty against fear, standing at an intersection of business and moral obligation. The tension was tangible, vibrating in the air. "Yeah, Sam. This is our moment." A call from behind prompted murmurs and whispers that rippled through the crowd. The emotional pull weighed heavily on Sam's shoulders, and for a heartbeat, the entire ballroom held its breath. Could they leave this behind? Was it worth it? The heat of potential loss was stifling, and Nathan felt himself shaking, pulse racing, heart aching. Then, Sam took a step forward. "You're right, Nathan, we can't let fear dictate our choices. We're all in this together." His voice cracked slightly, revealing the struggle beneath the words. Relief washed over Nathan like a wave breaking against the shore. A smile broke through the weight of uncertainty. It was almost a sobering relief. "We unify. We can change the narrative," he replied, eyes shining with hope. And then, out of the corner of his eye, Nathan spotted his father's hesitant shift toward him. It was small, tentative, but it sent a jolt through the crowd as they witnessed this tentative reconciliation. "Look at them, Dad. Look at all of us." Nathan gestured widely, his heart swelling. "This unity can't be broken by the fear of one slipped glass. We can do more." As the crowd erupted in a bond of affirmation, Nathan's gaze locked onto his father, a silent question lingering in the air. Would he step forward into this moment, or retreat one more time? The music in the ballroom began to swell as the emotions reached a crescendo, but Nathan knew this wasn't done yet. There loomed a choice, a pivot that echoed through the very heart of the gathering. Would they link arms for justice, or falter under the weight of expectation? As the cheers broke through yet again, Nathan caught that fleeting look from his father, a flicker of something that felt like hope. But it was unclear, so close yet so far. The room echoed with the heartbeats of transformation, and Nathan felt the walls around him tightening in anticipation. Then came a thunderous roar, but just as he felt hope surge, he saw something shift in the back of the ballroom. A figure, cloaked in shadows, watching, waiting. Who were they? The vision sent chills down Nathan's spine. What pivotal choice would unfold next? Nathan's heart raced like a runaway train. The figure lurking in the shadows sent a chill through the warmth of the room, and he couldn't shake the feeling that something pivotal was about to unfold. Was this person a threat to everything he had built? Or perhaps a harbinger of something even darker? The moment stretched, taut and electric, as whispers washed over the crowd. Curious eyes shifted toward the entrance, the cheering momentarily dulled by uncertainty. Nathan's fingers twitched at his side, needing something to ground him as he gripped the podium. "Who is that?" Sam asked, his voice barely a whisper, leaning closer to Nathan. Fear mingled with concern in his tone. "I don't know," Nathan murmured, trying to keep his eyes trained on the figure. "But they seem to be watching us like they know something we don't." The applause faded to a murmur, tension replacing jubilation. Nathan's father shifted nervously beside him, his earlier glimmer of hope replaced by anxiety. "Nathan, we should find out what this is about," he advised, his voice quaking slightly. No. Nathan shot back, louder than he intended. His voice echoed through the ballroom, piercing the air. We can't let the fear of the unknown dictate our path. We've come too far. Just as he spoke, the figure stepped into the light, revealing a tall woman dressed impeccably, her posture rigid and commanding. The crowd parted, gasping softly at the sight. Her presence was formidable, a storm contained in a crisp suit that spoke of authority. "Excuse me," she called out, her voice like ice cutting through the warmth of camaraderie. "I need to address the situation regarding the spilled wine from before." The word seemed to imbue the air with a sense of foreboding. Eyes darted around the room, there was an uneasy rumble of gossip. Who was she? What did she want? Nathan felt his spine straighten. "This isn't just about a glass of wine," he called out, finding his voice as it resonated deep from within. "This is about unity. About standing together against fear and misunderstanding." The woman narrowed her gaze, her calculated demeanor resembling a chess player who always steps ahead. "Unity is commendable, Nathan," she began, her tone measured. "But there are larger forces at play that could challenge this unity of yours." With every word she spoke, Nathan felt a weight pressing down on his chest. He desperately wanted to understand. What larger forces? Did she know something about their project that others didn't? "Please, we need transparency," Nathan urged, imploring everyone before him. "If there's something that's going to affect us, we deserve to know. We are ready to take what comes." Around him, the crowd murmured their agreement, and Nathan could feel a collective breath of resilience stirring among them, pushing against the unknown. The woman's eyes scanned the crowd, and Nathan could see her contemplation. "What if I told you," she continued, with slow deliberation, "that a rival firm is prepared to dismantle everything you've worked for? That your success has threatened those who wish to maintain the status quo?" His heart sank. The air thickened with disbelief. Fumbling silence echoed back through the ballroom. "This is insane," Sam muttered, disbelief on his face. How could they? Nathan's mind raced. In this moment of collective fear, he felt an unexpected spark of determination. "Then let them come." He fired back, passion igniting his words. "We won't back down. Not now, not ever." The audience's cheers began to rise once more, creating a chorus of defiance against the darkness threatening to enfold them. But as the applause swelled, Nathan couldn't help but glance back at the woman. A subtle smile crept across her features, one that sent shivers down his spine. "Very well," she replied, a hint of approval woven with caution in her voice. "But remember, every action has a consequence. You're playing a dangerous game and the stakes are high." As she stepped back into the shadows, leaving only her words lingering in the air like a challenge, Nathan felt the atmosphere shift again. This wasn't just an issue of unity anymore, it was a battle, a fight to protect everything they had built together. Flattening his palms on the podium, he faced the crowd, resolute. "Are we ready, or do we let fear win?" Cheers echoed loud and clear. But in the back of his mind, a lingering question tugged at him: what if the stakes were higher than anyone realized? With determination in his eyes, he turned back to Sam and his father. "We need a plan. We need every single person here to stand together." But as he spoke, he felt that familiar sense of urgency, the weight of unformed answers teasing at the edges of his thoughts. What other secrets lay in wait, ready to unravel everything, and more importantly, how far would they have to go to protect what they cherished most? The applause lingered in the air like the fading echoes of a siren, but it felt hollow now, tainted by uncertainty. Nathan caught Sam's eye, and both shared an unspoken concern. The woman's warning churned in his mind. What if they were indeed risking everything? "We need to move fast," Nathan said, his voice tense but steady. "We can't wait for the other shoe to drop." Sam nodded, a determined glint in his eyes. "Let us gather the team. We need to strategize." Nathan turned to his father but found him staring into space, lost in thought. "Dad?" he prompted gently. "Are you with us?" "Yes, I'm here," his father replied, shaking his head as if snapping back into focus. "It's just what if she's right? What if we're in over our heads?" "No," Nathan interrupted firmly, the urgency in his voice rising. "We're not in over our heads. We're standing on the edge of something greater. If we band together, we can face whatever's coming." His father glanced sideways at the crowd, seeing the resolve lighting their faces, and that flicker of doubt began to fade. "You're right, son. We've built this community, and it's worth fighting for." With renewed purpose, Nathan led Sam and his father toward the congregation gathered under the grand chandelier. "Everyone, if I could have your attention," he called out, his voice booming over the remnants of applause. Slowly, the noise subsided, and all eyes turned to him. "What we've just heard is no idle threat. This woman isn't just some stranger. She represents a broader challenge, one that could tear apart everything we've worked so hard to create." A murmur rippled through the audience, varying between disbelief and alarm. But Nathan continued, determination surging through him like a powerful wave. "This is our moment. We've overcome struggles together before, and we can do it again. I need every single one of you here, ready to stand firm and tackle whatever comes our way. Are we together in this?" A chant began, building momentum. "Together. Together. Together." Nathan felt the current of energy flow through him. This was unity, genuine and raw. He didn't just want them to rally behind him, he wanted them to truly believe that they could withstand the storm. Yet even as the crowd raised their voices, Nathan felt a twinge of doubt. What tactics could they employ? They'd need more than just passion to combat a rival firm intent on dismantling their progress. He glanced briefly at Sam. It was clear they needed to strategize, but what shape would that take? As the chorus of support faded, Nathan gathered his thoughts, choosing his words carefully. "We'll meet tomorrow to brainstorm. Every idea counts. But remember, stealth and shield are as important as sword." No sooner had he finished than Sam sidled closer, his expression taut with worry. "And what if we get blindsided? The woman in the shadows, who is she, really? What do they know that we don't?" Nathan sighed, feeling the weight of his new role as a leader. "I don't know. But she knows we're strong. We must prepare for the worst while hoping for the best." As night set in, an unsettling quiet draped over the headquarters. Each member of the team shifted to their stations. They would lay plans, but the shadow of doubt lingered. And then came the most haunting realization: the threats they faced were not just external anymore. As he leaned against the window, gazing at the city beyond, Nathan couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal that simmered just beneath the surface. In this fight, who among them could turn? The hairs on his neck stood up. Their greatest enemy might be lurking closer than they had ever anticipated. With a quick exhale, Nathan turned back. "We'll be ready. Whatever comes, we face it together." But as he locked eyes with Sam, the gravity of uncertainty gripped them both. What would it take to truly protect their vision? And would they unearth betrayal from within their ranks? The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the office. Nathan stood at the window, his mind racing. The calls from the team had turned into murmurs, shifting from excitement to anxiety. Each person's face haunted him with questions unasked. "Leave the doubt behind, Nathan," he whispered to himself, running a hand through his hair. Deep down, he knew that doubt was a seed sown by fear, and he couldn't let it take root. They needed clarity. They needed focus. "Hey, I've got that list of ideas you asked for," Sam said, breaking into the silence like a bolt of lightning. His voice was calm, but his eyes told a different story, determination mixed with a worry that wouldn't fade. "Let us go through them," Nathan replied, turning away from the window. He watched as Sam laid out the papers on the table, the outlines of their battle plans scattered across the surface like a puzzle waiting to be pieced together. They sat across from each other, diving into the proposals quickly. Ideas ranged from community engagements to campaigns that could sway public opinion. Each suggestion lit a flicker of hope, but Nathan's mind kept circling back to the woman's warning. Whispers of betrayal loomed, shadows creeping in where trust once stood firm. As they brainstormed, Nathan could see the passion in Sam's eyes. It reminded him of why they started this fight in the first place. It wasn't just about their business or the community, it was about something much bigger. It was about legacy. "Do you think it's possible?" Sam asked, interrupting Nathan's thoughts. "To really stand against them? What if they have someone inside, feeding them information?" The question hung heavily between them. Nathan shook his head. "We'll have to keep our circle tighter. We can't let anyone get too close, not now." He thought of his father, working in the back office, sorting through files. The man had sacrificed so much time, energy, dreams to build something meaningful for their community. A betrayal from within would cut deeper than any external threat. As night deepened, the office felt almost electric. They were fighting against the odds. Each plan they discussed was laced with uncertainty, but they pressed on, driven by a need to protect what they had. Nathan leaned back, a thought striking him. "What about a meeting? With the whole team? You really think now's the time for that?" Sam asked, eyebrows furrowing. "Yeah. We need everyone on board. Everyone needs to feel the weight of what's at stake. I want them to see that we're not just defending ourselves. We're building something together." Sam nodded, his expression shifting from doubt to approval. "You're right. They need to know the truth, the real truth." Just then, Nathan's phone buzzed. He quickly glanced at the screen and felt his stomach drop. It was an unknown number. Without thinking, he answered. "Hello?" A pause, and then a voice he didn't recognize. "Is this Nathan? There's something you need to know." Every hair on his body stood on end. "Who is this?" he demanded. "You're being watched. You need to be careful who you trust." Before he could respond, the line went dead. Nathan glanced at Sam, who looked just as shaken. That wasn't just a warning, it was a threat. With each word they shared today, the path ahead twisted darker. They were up against more than just a rival business. They were caught in a game of shadows, deception lurking around every corner. As they made plans to gather the team, a heavy desire settled within Nathan. They had to uncover who was playing both sides. They had to protect their vision, their people, even if it meant facing betrayals they never saw coming. "Tomorrow, we bring everyone together," he said, urgency creeping into his tone. "And we dig deeper. We can't let fear steer us away from our mission." But as Nathan looked back at his phone, the pit in his stomach gnawed at him. Time was running out, and the truth felt like a tightly wrapped secret, just waiting to unravel. Would they be ready when the moment came? And who would still stand by their side when all was revealed? The morning arrived, colored in shades of gray, as if the sky understood the weight pressing down on Nathan's chest. He sat at his desk, surrounded by empty coffee cups and hastily scribbled notes. Each tick of the clock echoed like a drum, urging him forward but also threatening to drown him in anxiety. Today was the day everything would change, and yet he couldn't shake the uneasiness coiling in his gut. He glanced up as Sam entered, his expression a mix of determination and fear. "Are you ready for this?" Sam asked, a hint of doubt lingering in his voice. Nathan took a deep breath. "We have to be. They deserve to know what's going on." As the team trickled in, the atmosphere felt charged. Faces that had once beamed with optimism now wore expressions marred by uncertainty. It seemed their excitement had been snuffed out under the weight of the unknown. Nathan could see even the most enthusiastic among them, Emma, with her bright ideas and contagious energy, struggling to muster her usual spark. Everyone, thank you for coming on such short notice, Nathan began, steadying his voice despite the rapid beating of his heart. We've got a lot to discuss. He saw the eyes flicker from him to Sam, searching for reassurance. This isn't just about business. It's about our community and, frankly, our lives. I want to be as honest with you as I can. He paused, gathering his resolve. We're facing threats from outside and possibly from within. A heavy silence settled. Murmurs rippled among the group, and Nathan could sense the tension mounting. Someone is watching us, gathering information. We need to strengthen our unity. He looked around, making eye contact with each person. We're more than just a team. We're a family. Emma stepped forward, her eyebrows knitting together. What do you mean from within? Are you saying someone here is betraying us? Nathan held up a hand, trying to ease the growing panic. I don't know. I just want everyone to understand how serious this is. Trust is everything. I can't believe someone would do that, Sam added, his voice tight with disbelief. We've worked too hard for that. Emotions swirled in the air: fear, anger, and a growing sense of resolve. Nathan could feel it shifting. This wasn't just a meeting to share bad news, this was a moment to rally the troops, to ignite a fire under them. We have to work together, and keep tight-lipped about our strategies. It's time to do what's necessary. As he spoke, Nathan could see the conviction building in their eyes, one by one. We're in this together, he repeated, a sense of urgency threading through his words. And we'll face whatever comes, all of us. Suddenly, a commotion at the door broke through the tension. A man barged in, breathless, eyes wild. His name was Derek, the legal advisor. You won't believe what I just found. He panted, clutching a folder like a lifeline. What is it? What did you find? Nathan asked, heart racing anew. It's a list of transactions, meetings scheduled with the rival firm. I think I've pinpointed where the leaks are coming from. Derek's voice quivered with adrenaline, and the room seemed to hold its breath. Nathan's stomach turned. Who could it be? The answer loomed as Derek opened the folder and spread the documents across the table. An unease settled in the back of Nathan's mind, intertwined with dread. Are you ready for this? Derek asked, looking at Nathan. His eyes were wide, as if he already felt the weight of the revelation. But Nathan hesitated. Did they want to uncover the truth, knowing it could tear them apart? Everything we've built, it all hangs in the balance. We need to open this door, Nathan said, voice steadying despite his fear. Together. He leaned toward the documents and caught a glimpse of names he knew, colleagues he trusted. The air thickened as he braced himself for what came next. What if this turned their friendship into ashes? As he spread the papers before him, something whispered in the back of Nathan's mind, a chilling certainty that today would change everything. Would the truth unite them or sever their bonds? Irrevocably? And would they find the strength to face the betrayal at their doorstep? The faces in the room tensed as Derek laid the documents on the table. Each piece of paper seemed heavier than the last, as if laden with the weight of secrets that had been building for far too long. Nathan swallowed hard. The names etched in front of him stirred a storm of emotions: betrayal, distrust, and an uncomfortable sensation that something precious was slipping away. Let us look at these together, Nathan said, his voice steady but filled with urgency. He gestured for everyone to gather around the table. The group moved closer, each person leaning in to catch a glimpse of the troubling evidence. Derek pointed to the first line of a contract. This one right here: they've been funneling resources to our competitor. Meeting set up without our knowledge. It seems deliberate. We need to figure out who is involved. Nathan's heart raced. But why? Who would risk everything we've built? Emma stepped back, her face pale. We've always been a tight unit. This doesn't feel right. Someone's gone rogue, but how do we find out who? Despair mixed with anger, and Nathan felt it radiating from her, infectious and charged. Before he could answer, the door swung open again. It was Mia, a newer member, her brows furrowed with worry. "Sorry to interrupt, but I overheard a conversation in the break room. They were talking about offloading information. I didn't think much of it until now." Murmurs erupted. "What? Who?" Sam asked, his voice slicing through the rising din. Mia hesitated, glancing at her feet. "I think Jessica and Ben were the ones. They always seemed, I don't know, off." Her admission tore through the air, and a chill crept into the room. "Jessica and Ben," Nathan echoed, feeling a mix of desperation and disbelief. They had shared countless late nights, brainstorming ideas, laughing over lunch. Could it really be them? Emma turned to Nathan, her eyes wide. "This isn't just about numbers or deals anymore. This is personal. If they turned on us, how do we even trust anyone here?" "Trust needs rebuilding," Nathan said, gripping the edge of the table. "But we can't panic. If there's a leak, we need to act strategically. We can't let them see us sweat." A murmur of agreement floated around, but beneath it, uncertainty lingered. Each person was wrestling with their own fear, their own perceived betrayal. Nathan could feel the weight of their anxiety mingling with his own. "We can start by tracking communications. Monitor any further interactions with the rival firm," Derek suggested, his voice steady despite the turmoil. "But that could take time," Sam pointed out, his brow furrowed. "How long do we have before any real damage is done?" "Time is not a luxury we have," Nathan admitted, the looming dread pressing in deeper. "But we have to stay clear-headed. Let us think about a strategy to confront them," Emma proposed, her voice shaking slightly yet layered with determination. "We need to find evidence before we act. We need to be sure. Accusing them without proof would only hurt us more." As they formulated their plan, Nathan felt an unexpected surge of courage rippling through him. They were scared but resolute. Despite the gnawing fear of betrayal, bonds were tightening. "After we confirm everything, we confront them together," Nathan said, looking around each fierce face. "Nobody stands alone in this. We're fighting for each other and what we built." His words ignited sparks of hope among the group, pulling them back from the edge of dissolution. But just as they started to breathe a little easier, a message popped up on Nathan's phone, a notification from the rival firm. His heart dropped. It read, "Your team is weak, they are coming for you." Nathan felt the blood drain from his face as he shared the news, watching the collective shock ripple through the room, draining the hope they had just gathered. "Who sent this?" Emma asked, voice trembling. "I don't know," Nathan replied, feeling the weight of every pair of eyes on him. "But we need to prepare. We have to be ready for whatever comes next." As they stared into the uncertainty that awaited them, it was clear. The impending confrontation would test not only their strength as a team but perhaps their bond as friends. Would they uncover the truth before it tore them apart? Or would the scheme unravel their unity in a way they never expected? The clock was ticking, and soon, they would find themselves in the fight of their lives. The air in the room turned heavy, thick with uncertainty. Nathan's heart pounded like a drum, each vibrant beat echoing his rising panic. He could see the flicker of worry dancing in every pair of eyes, their confidence now suspended in a fragile balance. The digital message hung over them, a storm cloud ready to burst. "Okay, we can't let them see us panic," Nathan reiterated, gripping the back of his neck as he paced. "We need to figure this out before they make any more moves. Let us divide and conquer. Emma, can you gather what you can on Jessica and Ben? Look into their movements, any unusual meetings or late-night calls?" Emma nodded, biting her lip, determination mingling with fear. Behind her resolute expression, Nathan could sense her underlying dread, a question lingering. What if Ben and Jessica were truly involved? "Mia," he continued, "you and Derek will monitor the channels, the emails, anything suspicious that might confirm our worst fears. Stay low-key, don't attract attention. Derek's gaze shifted from Nathan to the document strewn across the table. And Sam and we can start making informal inquiries, find out what others are saying. If there's a leak, someone has to know about it. The team split into their roles, the tension binding them deeply. Nathan could almost feel the electricity of determination crackling between them and, despite the weight of betrayal looming, a sliver of hope ignited. They were a team. As they dove into their tasks, Nathan slipped away for a moment, stepping into the hallway. He needed air. The walls felt as if they were closing in, every flickering fluorescent light making his mind race. Could he really trust everyone? The thought gnawed at him. Then a voice interrupted his spiraling thoughts. It was Emma, quietly stepping up beside him. Do you really think they would, she faltered, betray us? He met her gaze, searching for a hint of assurance that things would be okay. But the truth? It felt far away. I don't know. I want to believe they wouldn't, but Emma crossed her arms, hugging herself tightly. We've built so much together. They've been there through thick and thin. The memories surged unbidden, laughter during stressful days, teamwork during deadlines, those simple moments that bound them together. But then thoughts of the recent betrayal devoured those feelings, turning warmth into ice. Hey, he said softly, whatever happens, we'll face it together. We can't let fear separate us. In that fleeting moment, the flicker of hope reignited. They both nodded, sharing an understanding that transcended their fears. Trust was fraying but not undone just yet. Returning to the room, the atmosphere buzzed with concentrated energy. Emma had set up her laptop, scrolling through messages and files. Sam and Derek seemed deep in conversation, hushed voices dancing with urgency. Nathan checked his phone, hoping for a miracle that would put them one step ahead. As he did, another message came through, and his heart sank again. Your internal whispers are louder than you think, it taunted. Act wisely, or suffer the consequences. The room frozen with disbelief. Great. They're watching us, Nathan muttered, trying to mask his rising frustration. Can't we just confront them directly? Sam spoke, his voice laced with anger. Let them know we're onto them. Maybe we can scare them off. No, Nathan said firmly. We need proof first. If we swing blindly, it could cost us everything. They turned back to the document strewn across the table, the proof they sought still shrouded in mystery. Each document was another layer of a twisted web, and Nathan could feel the tension rising again. Just as they began to dissect the papers, a loud crash echoed from outside, jolting them all. The sound of hurried footsteps followed, sending a shiver down Nathan's spine. What was that? Emma asked, her voice barely a whisper. Nathan's gut churned. Did they make their move already? He felt the urgency surge, and without thinking, he raced towards the door. Whatever was happening out there could change everything. As they stepped outside, reality hit them like a cold wave. The confrontation was drawing closer, and Nathan knew that choices made today might define the very fabric of their relationships. With dread intertwining with resolve, he took a deep breath. Would they face the demons threatening to tear them apart, or would they emerge stronger together? The moment had arrived, and Nathan prepared for the unknown ahead, every heartbeat an echo of the fight that lay ahead. The ballroom vibrated with a mix of electricity and trepidation. Nathan stood at the center, surrounded by colleagues and friends, their faces reflecting doubt and determination. The reality of impending confrontation lay heavily upon them, the threat was real, and they had no choice but to face it together. Listen up, everyone. Nathan called out, his voice strong. The crowd hushed, every eye centered on him. We've come a long way, but we're in the midst of a storm. It's time we show our strength, and that means standing united now more than ever. He could feel the tension coil around them, and yet amidst it all, a sense of clarity bloomed. The fear of betrayal from within their ranks now fueled his resolve instead. We've spent our lives building this company, this community. We won't let whispers in the dark tear us apart. We are greater than fear. We are stronger together. Cheers erupted, the energy shifting as the crowd rallied around Nathan's words. The tension in the room began to ease, replaced by a flicker of hope. Nathan saw Saida nodding in emphasis, her smile gleaming with support, and it empowered him even further. All right. Nathan continued, taking a breath to steady his racing heart. First, we need a strategy. Derek, what do we have from those documents? Derek stepped forward, clutching the folder tightly. We've identified suspicious transactions and meetings with the rival firm. That's invaluable proof. Then let's set a trap, Nathan declared, steeling himself. We'll send out misinformation regarding our next project. If there's a leak, we'll catch it in the act. The room burst into energy at the idea, and even Nathan could feel his heart swell. But we need to act fast. We need to compartmentalize our efforts. No one person should know everything, he said, pacing with newfound purpose that he looked at each face surrounding him, feeling a swell of kinship sealing their resolve. Together, we're capable of so much more than we think. If they come for us, we'll stand in one solid line and prove we're not afraid. Yeah. Sam chimed in, throwing his fist in the air, igniting more applause. Let us show them what we're made of. We're not backing down. But as cheers filled the air, Nathan's eyes found Emma's. Her expression remained somber, reflecting uncertainty. It gnawed at him as he felt the fragility beneath the surface. I know it's easy to feel alone in this, he said, his voice softer, yet resolute. But light is born from darkness. We're not just fighting for ourselves, we're fighting for everyone who believes in us. Exactly. Mia echoed, her voice gaining strength. If we unite, it can't just be business. It has to be family. We have what the world needs. All right then, Nathan concluded, gathering energy to solidify the plan. Let us meet back in 2 hours to regroup with our findings and plans. Focus on your tasks carefully. Tread lightly. As the crowd dispersed, the adrenaline surged through Nathan. He grabbed Sam, pulling him aside. Good work out there. But remember, trust will be the key to survival. We need to keep our eyes open. Sam nodded solemnly, still tense but standing firm. I'm with you, Nathan. We face this together, whatever it takes. And just like that, amidst the shadows that had threatened to engulf them, he felt invincible. They would weather this storm, protect what they cherished, and reclaim their unity in the fight for their future. Later that night, Nathan sat at his desk, fatigue washing over him, but a new determination glimmered in the embers of hope rekindling in his heart. He glanced at the city lights twinkling outside his window, a promise of what lies ahead. Together, they would confront the darkness and unveil the truth behind the threat. Whatever challenge awaited, Nathan Carter would not just stand as a businessman but as a leader, unyielding and united with his people. He grinned, his expression radiating strength. They would emerge from this battle transformed, fortified by their bonds of trust and shared values, and so, the dawn of a new day approached, holding within it the power to reshape their destinies and the world around them. The future was theirs to seize. If you felt heavy with waiting for this moment, now is the time to take action. You need to subscribe now to never miss captivating stories that inspire courage in the face of adversity. Leave a like now to help our channel grow, and don't forget to comment your thoughts and feelings about this transformative ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible journey we all embarked upon together. Don't wait not even one more second to show your support. Your voice matters in this community.